4-time Emmy Award winner, 2 Grammy nominations, 3 gold records, 7 public television specials, 8 million records sold. His consistency as a popularity as a TV and radio broadcaster has only amplified his personal connection with his loyal listeners and his fans. We get to listen to him 6 days a week on Intelligence for Your Life. I could not be more thrilled to welcome back to my show one of my all-time favorite human beings ever, John Tesh. John?
Yeah, sorry. I'm outside. I think a plane flew over and had knocked out the signal. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right. So last time we spoke, you didn't have. Now you have 3 grandchildren.
Yeah. I guess you can't stop nature, right? They just keep popping out. There's three of them under the age of 5, and Gib, our son. Since we do a lot of our work out of the house, he dumps them off here. So at any given time, I'll have a grandkid underneath my table while I'm doing the radio show.
Isn't it the greatest thing ever?
It's pretty hilarious, yeah. I haven't changed the diaper yet. That's just sort of like if I smell something, I just hand it off to somebody else. But it's great, and it's really been Connie's, my wife's joy. She just we end up on It's a Small World at least 2 or 3 times a month out at Disneyland.
How awesome! That's great. So I could listen to Intelligence for Your Life all day long. I've learned so much through you.
First of all, I appreciate it, but also that's really how the show was. I hate to use the word organic, but there's a story where Howard Schultz, who started Starbucks, he was on vacation in Italy, and he was really enjoying all the coffee bars there. And he said, we just don't have that experience, at least on a large scale, in North America. And that's the party line on how Starbucks was started. It's like, just invest in what you know or what you're passionate about. And it happened that way for the radio show, where Connie was complaining about my side of the bed before we go to sleep one night, and it was my side of the bed is always just a whole bunch of wires and iPods and broken keyboards and stuff, and so I had to find something to cross-complain about, and so I looked at her side of the bed, and it was, I hadn't noticed, but it was all these magazines, it seemed like hundreds of magazines all stacked up with little sticky notes sticking out of them, and I said, well, what's all this stuff? And she goes, oh, these are my articles. I just haven't gotten around to them. And I thought, wow, there's an idea for a radio show, is to hire a bunch of really good researchers and curators and take these 5,000-word studies and turn them into 2-minute pieces on the radio, surrounded by music. And then we started off with like 6 stations, and then we formed these relationships with some really high-end institutions, including the Mayo Clinic, Harvard Wellness Review, and all the different journals. And so we really get a lot of the research first before it's published, and that's what I think makes the show cutting edge.
See, that's the thing. I don't have to read anything. I don't have to do anything. I just have to listen to you all day long, and I get all my news.
Well, it's
the greatest thing.
It's so funny because we really do. We spend a lot of time figuring out what if you can't. Well, what's the mantra that I'm always saying? If it doesn't move you forward in your life, if it doesn't cause you to make a difference in somebody else's life, we won't put it on the radio. So I lived my life as a newscaster. Most people just remember me from Entertainment Tonight, but before that, I worked in Orlando and Raleigh and Nashville and then New York at WCBS for 12 years. In the newsroom where the research department was king, right? You couldn't put anything on the air until the research department checked it out, and then Entertainment Tonight, and so the research part of this is really important because, as we know, there's so much bad stuff on the internet, and also every time I'm driving around, no matter what city I'm in, if we're touring, for music, and if I see a traffic jam, I'm like, there's more listeners, So a lot of trapped in your car is a chance for learning, right?
Yeah, but there's also something, John. It's something about your voice. It's just, I don't think anyone can do it like you do it. So there's something about that. What's your favorite thing to talk about? Do you have a favorite thing, or is it just everything? Because there's always something to be learned.
I do. It used to be. I mean, I was basically being groomed to be a scientist in college. I took a whole bunch of chemistry and organic chemistry, quantitative analysis and biology and physics and all that stuff, because my parents were convinced I would starve to death if I was a musician, and they were probably right. So I've always been really interested in how to hack your body to to health, and 2.5 years ago I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, and I know you've had that in your family, and it's everything just sort of stops. You can almost hear the brakes on the car. It was a very rare form of cancer. It didn't make any blood markers, and it was just a journey where my wife stopped acting, quit her job, and we traveled around to places like Johns Hopkins and Northwestern University and MD Anderson, and we had got genetic testing done, and none of that stuff would have been possible, A, without my wife's connections, but B, without what we do for a living, which is we just scarfing up research all that. So I immediately started reading every book I could get my hands on. Cancer as a Metabolic Disease by Peter Seifried, and
so did you have no signs? Was it just a routine?
Yeah, it was prostate cancer, and I'm very young for prostate cancer, so there was no sign at all, and it didn't make any PSA. Right. There were 6 tumors, and my GP just sort of found it, by accident, and then when I went in for all the scans, they're like, whoa, wait a second, and then I had these 2 surgeries, and then it traveled to my lymph nodes, and so I had a bunch of those taken out. But through it all, because of the radio show and because of people that we had interviewed,
yes,
we, beyond the chemotherapy and the androgen deprivation therapy and then the surgery, I went on a ketogenic diet, and I talked about this on the radio show before. Yep. And Connie and Gibb went on it with me in solidarity, and now there's so much research about how great it is, and basically you can look it up. It's hard. It's a very, very hard diet. It's hard on you at first as you're transitioning, and not that kind of transitioning. Right, I know. And it's also it's just hard to find food. So it's basically 80% saturated fat and 10% protein and 10% carbs, and so you're burning saturated fat instead of glucose, because cancer cells love glucose. In fact, they love fructose. So I haven't had a piece of fruit in 6 months. Or a glass of fruit juice. Yeah. So that was not to get too far in the weeds on this thing, but that was real. A lot of that stuff came from Connie's health show and from the people she had interviewed. Right. We just sort of called them up and said, hey, what do we do? Oh, this is the guy. Here's the guy that should operate on you. Here's this book to read. Here's this paper.
That amazing.
Yeah. It is, and so you started asking a very simple question, which
That's
is
okay.
What's my favorite piece? My favorite piece is we talk about it on stage when we're doing concerts. Is find your purpose in life, and find your mission, and pick a lane, as Lin-Manuel Miranda said, before he created Hamilton, the musical. Pick a lane and stay in that lane, because we get distracted and we get pulled out of our lane and we crash and burn. And so the lane that we pick, we don't do. People are always suggesting, hey, why don't you do the celebrity birthdays? Hey, why don't you do this piece on Michael Jackson or on sexual harassment? So sexual harassment is actually something we would do a piece on. We'd have like 2 or 3 tips from an HR expert as to how to spot somebody who is prone to harassment. But as far as entertainment news, our lane is just, if it doesn't improve your life, if it's not a conversation starter for you to help somebody else, we're just not going to put it on the show.
And isn't it amazing that your life's journey led you to this, and then led you in the way to heal your own self through how you heal everybody else every day? It's amazing.
Yeah, you said that well. I think that, the part I left out was that we also, there are 2 or 3 people that we really respect, who are evangelists and who study the Old Testament and the New Testament, and so they were helping us with specific prayers that we could use for healing, and have people in intercessory prayer praying for my healing, and And so, it was a holistic approach. That's an overused word, but that's the real definition of holistic living. So it was diet, it was exercise, and it was also surgery and chemo and the conventional methods. And a lot of times, MD Anderson is different because it's really a very research-based cancer facility. But a lot of surgeons will just sort of roll their eyes at you when you say, "Well, I'm not eating any sugar and I'm not eating any protein," that kind of, because cancer cells can also ferment protein.
Right.
And so you get the eye rolling thing. But a lot of those guys, all they're doing is cutting. They're not seeing all the research.
And look at you. And with my dad, we had somebody heal him too. The person that taught actually, Teresa Caputo, Long Island Meeting, we had her heal my father, and I think that was a big part. Because I told you, we talked before, 88 years old, survived bladder cancer, miracle.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Bladder cancer can spread like wildfire, of course, because it's in your engine room, right? It's right with everything. There was something else I was going to tell you about all this, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was about prayer and healing prayer. There's a great book that I would recommend. It's an old book. It was written by a guy named Joseph Murphy.
Okay.
And if you look it up on Amazon, it's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's basically a secular book, but it also talks about non-secular ways to use prayer. But it talks about how if you speak death over yourself, if you speak sickness over yourself, you're going to have it. And so James Allen also wrote a book called, and almost an ancient book too, called "As a Man Thinketh, So Is He." So you become what you think about most of the time. And that was the thing that I had to get out of, because I became a cancer patient. I talked about myself to people as a cancer patient, and I had to get out of that. And my wife helped me, with that, and just trying to hack my subconscious mind and using journaling at night. Things like "I am healed," and then putting down scriptures and things.
I will like be okay. You said it, and I swear my dad was going downhill when I found. It just so happened that she came into my life. Do you want to interview her? And she's a healer. And I said, you need to heal my dad. And it so turned out her husband had bladder cancer, but had passed away. So she healed my dad. I say all this day, she saved my dad's life because he was becoming a cancer patient. He was dying. He was not giving up. And so what you said is true, and I'm definitely going to get Joseph Murphy's book too. Anything that you say, John, I'll do. And if you just I'm talking to the amazing, one of my favorite all-time people, John Tesh. A lot of people, they remember you from Entertainment Tonight, of course, but it was always music first.
Yeah, it always has been. It wasn't my decision at first. My mom grew up in rural North Carolina. She was in a family of 7 kids, and when she was a little kid, her house burned down, and they were homeless, and she lived a tough life. But my mom and dad, they built a great life for themselves. He was a self-made man who came out of World War II, and he got a job, working for Hanes Underwear, and moved to Long Island. And we were for a while, we were the only house on Seabury Road in Long Island in Garden City where we had aluminum siding.
Wow.
And aluminum siding is like it's like having a Tesla today.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah.
It's a big deal. Anyway, my mom was a very proud woman. She was very, very proud of what she had accomplished, and she decided that all of her kids were going to learn how to play piano. And so when I was 6, I got strapped to the upright piano and with an egg timer there, and that thing just. It just kicked away, and it haunted me, and I couldn't go outside and play with my friends until I practiced for 2 hours. So to answer your question, I was not happy about music early on, but as soon as I got into the marching band and the orchestra, we had a great elementary school on Long Island. That was a lot more camaraderie. I even get that advice today when parents ask, "Hey, what should I get my kid into?" And I say, forget about the solo instruments. Everybody's doing that. They all want to be on The Voice or American Idol, or they want to be the next Joe Satriani, guitar player. You should put them in the band, because you get a chance to it's good competition in the band. You get a chance to tune up with people. You're in a club basically, so you get to travel and you get to do the marching thing and all that. And I learned so much about music, and still to this day, I have a musical vocabulary where I can talk to my sax player, or I can go over to the cello section because I know what range they play in. I know how to read charts thanks to my mom. And so that basic education I think is really important. But I think playing in an ensemble is more important than any of it.
I agree with you 100%. My mom made me take those piano lessons when I was young, and I didn't like any minute